Let's take a look now at some of the trending topics on social media. And to help us unpack that, we're joined via Zoom by SABC News senior multimedia producer Matiba Sibanyoni. Matiba, very good morning to you. What are people talking about on Twitter?
Oh, great seeing you. Great seeing you. Well, it's been a busy weekend, as usual in South Africa, mostly very political. The weekend's kicked off on a tea note. In Nkandla on Friday, you'll remember Jacob Zuma and EFF leader Julius Malema met over tea, that everybody was wondering what was going to be discussed. On social media, there was speculation, but there was also a lot of focus on journalists in South Africa and how much insight they actually have or may not have when it comes to politicians. A lot of discussions over the value of camping outside Nkandla, as well as conversation about how there was no protective gear when the gentlemen were standing outside taking a picture in Nkandla. So the conversation was mostly very speculation on what exactly could the former president of South Africa and EFF leader, who's also a former member of the ANC, what could they have to discuss? Many people spoke about how Julius Malema over the past few years, they actually quoted him on a lot of terrible things he had said about Jacob Zuma, the dislike between them. But then what came out of it was that there are no permanent enemies in politics, and how everybody is basically waiting to hear what was the main discussion. There was also a word to play on cupcake. You know that our current president, Ramaphosa's nickname on social media is Cupcake. So people were asking if there was any cupcake discussed at the tea party, and if Cupcake is worried about the conversations happening between Julius Malema and Zuma. So we'll have to wait and see what happened or what was discussed. There was a lot of talk about how the spokesperson of the EFF didn't reveal much. He said the tea was hot and they drank it slowly. So I guess we'll have to wait to hear what was discussed in good time. Something else that trended over the weekend was Norma, referring to Norma Ngoma, who is the estranged wife of former Minister Melusi Gigaba. This follows a news report that she may be appearing at the State Capture Commission following an interview with one of the South Africa's news organizations. And everybody can't wait to hear what she has to say about her life when she was still with the finance minister. On a very, very sad note, there were funerals as usual over the past weekend. Rest in peace, Sibongile Khumalo, and rest in peace, Madisha were trending. You remember Sibongile Khumalo passed away recently, as well as the Mamelodi Sundowns player. SABC News has live streams and reports of both those in case you missed it and you want to rewatch some highlights from that, sabcnews.com. And then Kusala Diko trended this past weekend. You remember she's the president of South Africa spokesperson who has been accused of corruption relating to the distribution of PPEs in South Africa. This follows Ramaphosa's appearance and a lady behind him who looks like her, but then they did say that it wasn't her. And she followed that by posting something on Twitter saying that it's the obsession for me. And most people took that as she's regarding to the trending topic that's currently on, saying that people are not obsessed about her necessarily, but mostly about the current investigation that's happening. And you remember that the hearing also continued this past weekend. Something that also trended, very important, that's still trending this morning, is AstraZeneca. After the Minister of Health yesterday's announcement of how the current vaccine, which was delivered last week, may not necessarily be completely effective when it comes to the South African variant of COVID-19. A lot of posts about how irresponsible the South African government may have been in that. And the fact that the expiry date is now in April, and how that it's not effective. And people are complaining about money, leadership, and just the job not being done. That was followed by something this morning that is still trending. It's Ramaphosa must fall in relation to this one and to this AstraZeneca trending topic. People saying that Ramaphosa must resign, but some people saying actually it's the health ministry's fault that this is happening and there hasn't been proper procedures followed. So we'll wait to hear what happens when it comes to that. But currently trending, and something very sad, is Auntie Patty following the passing of her husband that has just been announced this morning. Patricia announced that her husband has passed away after a long illness, and that's currently trending on Twitter. And I'm sure if you visit sabcnews.com, you should get the latest updates on those news events.
Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed.